A chance to review the minutes.
We have, and we've moved to accept as printed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Department heads, Chief Janice. And I know we have a big thing tonight because we even have the deputy chief here tonight. He only comes out on those rare special occasions.
Just gotta get everything straight here. Give me a minute. Keys and everything else. What did I
So
do
you
with
have to
that?
go through the metal detector?
Yes. He'd never go through it. Look at,
I know.
Set the whole thing on.
yeah.
I know you did. Yeah. Okay.
He is, I'm telling you, look at him. God love him.
First of all, I just want to explain the reason why we're here tonight is because of Captain Flanagan. I'm sure you all know it. Will be retiring December 31st after 35 years service for the Raynham Fire Department. I think that's... So what we have to do some promotions, and with Captain Flanagan's retirement, I've promoted from Lieutenant Brian Lasivita to Captain Fire Inspector. That will be effective January 1st, 2012. Brian and Kim, come up, please.
If he screeches out, I'm getting out of here.
I know. Payback.
Mm.
It doesn't get easier.
Congratulations. And our next promotion, with taking Lieutenant Lasivita's place, I've promoted Senior Firefighter EMT Barrett Johnson to Lieutenant. Will take effect December 1st. Barrett will be, can Barrett come up with Danielle, please?
Really, you want to give me a needle? I'm a little bit nervous. It's like pinning you.
Grab it right in there.
I know. I could do some damage here. There we go.
That's fine. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Do you know, I think if I do the math right, when Captain Flanagan got on the department, you two guys were 2 years old?
No.
When did you think so?
76?
Cap Flanagan's been here 35 years, so you're what, 37, 38?
You math major.
Yeah. Okay, with Barrett's promotion, they'll leave an open for permanent firefighter EMT position. I've promoted call firefighter EMTP Patrick Flanagan to permanent firefighter EMTP. Patrick and Dad, come up.
Payback.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That pretty much does it. I don't know if the board's got anything to...
Before I go to the board, does the new captain, lieutenant, or firefighter have any comments? Captain, I know you're never at a loss for words.
Thanks to Chief Janice. I'm actually very humbled by this promotion and humbled by the support here. And it's kind of bittersweet because I know Mike's leaving, and he's a good friend of mine. So getting promoted is bittersweet in that respect. And the guys at Group 2 who make my job a heck of a lot easier. I can do what I got to do to run the shift. And it's easy when you have guys that can know what to do and they know how to perform without too much direction. And my family, thanks very much.
I want to copy Brian. Just thank you. Thank you for the board, chief, for believing in us, and family and friends. Thank you.
Just want to take the time to thank the town of Raynham for giving me the opportunity to use my skills in my hometown. I kind of grew up in the area, and I really appreciate it.
Outgoing captain, want to add anything?
Yeah, I think Captain Flanagan is going to say goodbye.
I don't know, they were 2 years old, but I think I still got more hair than they have. But I don't know. You know, we got a great bunch of guys here. I have to thank everybody for all the support over the years and everything, from the guys in the fire department, the last few years. My job as a fire inspector, all the department heads in the different town departments, the police department over next door to us, all the people in this building, especially the Inspectional Service Division, for the help they've given me and everything, the Board of Selectmen for all the support over the years that they've supported the fire department and everything, Mr. Buckner, my favorite town administrator, and, you know, my family, my friends, and, you know, everybody for all the support, especially Chief Janice. His father is the one that put me on the fire department a few years back. And
You're the deputy, the only ones left.
so, thank you very much, Chief. I appreciate all you've done for me, and the board as well, and everybody. Thank you.
Well, just first of all, I'd like to thank the representation of the police department to visit the honorees at this time. I think that's very, very good for the whole town. Basically, the police and the fire are the main line of defense of a quality of life in the town of Raynham. If it isn't for the quality of life, there isn't much sense in staying here, is it? So if you can't have that. But yet we know that, in this case, the fire department has always worked as one unit. If they were a team, they'd be going to the Super Bowl, because they always are doing the right thing at the right time. We constantly get the callbacks on the visits, and on people say this is how we were treated, this is how it went down, and understand that it's good tonight that we do have this opportunity to thank you all for all that you do, because it comes through on a regular basis, and if anything, the only one remiss is probably people like me for not saying enough. So thank you all very much. Congratulations to the individuals who are promoted here this evening.
Mrs. Smith.
Well, Mrs. Smith can't follow Mr. McKinnon with too much more, because he always says it all. But I will add my sincere congratulations to the guys coming up. And you all are wonderful. You really are. I think we have the best police force and the best fire department going. I can't tell you how many comments I get. You gentlemen on the fire department are just that, gentlemen, and you take care of the senior population in this community, bar none. You are wonderful to them. They really, really appreciate it. And I want to thank you all for coming tonight, and congratulations again to all of you.
I will only add a few quick things, because my two colleagues, per usual, did a fantastic job. When I was running 5 years ago, I went to the fire department and spoke as a candidate, and the only thing they asked of me, other than leniency on budget negotiations, was to come back from time to time and say hi. And I've done my best to do that, and I have to say the response I always get is welcoming, and personally I appreciate that. And the other thing I'll say is to Captain Lasivita, first, congratulations to you, but I'm singling you out because a few years ago we had you here, and our former colleague John Donahue said that at that time, and I wish I could take credit for it, but he said you were going places. Being able to work with you for the past 5 years, I'm particularly pleased with the terrific job you've done and your fast ascension up the ranks. I have no doubt that you're going to have a long and distinguished career with this town and with the fire department. To Lieutenant Johnson, I don't know you as well, but you always have a smile on your face, especially when we're at school eating. So that's a good thing. To Pat, congratulations to you, and to Captain Flanagan. I always get scared when I see you at town hall and you pull me aside and say you need to talk to me because I don't know what that's about. But it's been a fantastic honor for me to be able to work with you. I grew up seeing you around town and hearing the stories from my grandfather, and most of them were true. But I thank you for your service, and to the chief, we, as a town, thank you for the fantastic job you continue to do for all of us on a daily basis. So congratulations and thank you all.
I'd just like to thank the board and the police department. I mean, it's excellent working with the way we work together. Chief Donovan's doing a heck of a job, and congratulations on your permanent position, too.
Thank you. You're all free to leave if you'd like.
Per usual, we have no coffee or donuts.
Brian, congratulations. No problem. Jim can probably get it for you. Thanks, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
How you feeling?
Hope you're back soon.
I know, that's the only place I find it where it's always been.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the only thing is we're still saying, 2023.
Good.
Way back. Done a great job. Really have.
Thanks again, Mike.
I'll see you later.
You'll be around for a while, right?
I just told him. He's already said if he needs anything, he knows where to find me.
Okay. Yeah. Jim, you ready? Yep. We are returning, and Chief Janis has informed me that he has one other report for us. Chief?
I think we'll need one more. I think we'll need 2 minutes. Going.
Thanks for coming.
Sorry, guys. I just have to. I'll talk to you soon.
See, Randy, she's not laughing at the chief.
She hasn't seen him walk.
Yeah, she did see me run the other day. This resource management system. Remember a while back we signed a thing?
I think we need to shut that door.
Hold on. This, I don't know if you got this notice from Kurt Swartz. What this is, remember a while back, we signed a paper for the liability if we go mutual aid. We're covered in the state of Massachusetts, but if we have to, being so close to Rhode Island, and I don't think we'd ever go to New Hampshire, but you never know. And I'll explain why we might go. But it's a liability. If somebody gets hurt or somebody comes here, we're responsible for whoever gets hurt, just like if we were at, a fire in Raynham. That's what this, so if I had mutual aid into Raynham and somebody got hurt from Rhode Island that was at a fire, Massachusetts laws with Massachusetts towns cover it, but out of state don't. In this resource management system, what it is, take for an example, God forbid we have it, a hurricane, which we the good possibility we can have here, hits this area. Now, if that happened, I can't reach out to Taunton or Bridgewater or Lakeville or any of them for help. Because chances are, if a hurricane comes through here, they're going to be looking for resources. So what this does, we can reach out to the Rhode Island towns out west and, you know, maybe up north somewhere, different districts. And what they do, they form task force of whatever kind of equipment you might need, whether it be police, the highway department, you know, Department of Public Works, and naturally fire, to come down here. Now, most every town's accepted this, and this is what this is. So.
And it comes with your recommendation?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Mm.
What is the board's pleasure?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Chief, very much for bringing
Thank you.
that in.
Have a
Have
Appreciate
a
it.
nice night.
No other appointments or public hearings tonight. New business, we have one item on the new business. It is the adoption of the permanent drainage easement land takings Hill Street, Raynham, Mass. From Town Council. And Town Council is advising us to do this at our meeting tonight, to vote to approve it and to sign the necessary paperwork. What is the board's pleasure?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That is approved. Thank you. Any new business, Mr. McKinnon?
Nothing, sir.
Mrs. Smith?
No, sir.
Old business, Mr. McKinnon?
Nothing.
Mrs. Smith?
No, sir.
Town administrator's report.
Last week, we talked a little bit about the re-precincting and such. I think it might be a good idea to form an ad hoc committee to look at where the voting will take place for the new precinct, or all the precincts if we decide to combine them. So I'd recommend that we form such a committee, member of the school, town clerk's office, obviously, wherever else you think.
Do we want to take it under advisement
I
for a
think
week?
so. I think also we must coordinate with the principal and the new principal of the Merrill School, because Mrs. Tripp will be leaving. Is she leaving in mid-year, though? Is she?
December 31st.
So, I mean, in other words, I think both principals should be contacted.
Randy, why don't you and I speak over the week and try to come up with a proposal of members for this
Sure.
committee without getting too large in
Oh, well,
size?
one of the, let's just, I always like to say the conclusion and then work towards it. Part of the thing we're thinking is it's the same number of people. No one else is added. So therefore, if it's permissible with the principal of the Merrill School, if we could move one of the precincts over to the gymnasium. Now the question is, would they get there by coming in the regular door and going over, or send them in the back and go in? I don't know which way we want to do it. But that's my opening volley for it, because anything outside that building opens Pandora box on this. We've tried it at the middle school. The parking wasn't available for the seniors and all. There's only the next school over is La Liberty. I don't see where it has any more room than we have now at the Merrill. And people have to, you know, acknowledge that we're not adding the precinct for anything else but the Commonwealth's dictate with such a number that so you're going to have another precinct. And also, I guess it worked to divide the territory of Raynham, wouldn't you know, between the two representatives. So that's part of the reason, I suppose. But if no number has increased, where would we move to one of the locations for one precinct? It's really, I think we're thinking a little too deep on it. Maybe keep it simple. But we'd have to get the cooperation of the principal on this, I think. But anyway, that's an opening valve. I concur, Mr. Chairman, you sit down with Mr. Buckner and form a committee, of which on that committee would have to be people from the school, because we're going to have to prevail upon their goodwill.
And on the splitting of the congressional districts, as you said, precincts 1 and 2 will be in the 10th congressional district, which is currently Stephen Lynch, and precincts 3 and 4 would be in the 4th district, which is Barney Franks, but we know he's not running again. So, but these, I guess, the notices will be going out in the near future to all residents about which precincts they will be in, because with the census and the re-precincting, there'll be some switching around. So, FEMA's holding a meeting in Taunton on December 6th to discuss updating the regional flood maps and mitigation measures. as a result of the spring 2010 flooding, which we know was pretty severe. And upcoming negotiations with the OPIU tomorrow and communication clerks on December 1st. Search monthly meeting on December 7th and SMHG health insurance meeting on December 14th.
Thank you, Randy. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Butler.
Selectmen's report, Mr. McKenna.
Just one thing on the BR, I'll say the Bridgewater Raynham football system. I think there were more young students who came out at the halftime of the Taunton BR game than I realized was even in the Bridgewater school system. Large numbers went on to bowl games, if you will, from that junior football league. We know our junior football league is such a building program, and I have to congratulate all those who are connected with it, because it was really, I thought, an at-risk for the athletic department to sign, I think, a 10-year agreement with the city of Brockton, because historically, you're not going to find a more advanced football system in the Commonwealth of Mass than I was talking with Brockton, taking on Brockton as a team. And for the first two games, one in Brockton and one here, the Bridgewater Raynham football teams have won both games. And by the way, they were hard fought. Anyone who went to that game on Thanksgiving, BR won that game 14-0. But then they came back for the second half, and Brockton won it 8-0. So the final score was 14-8. The football coach from Brockton says, I'll bet you BR has won more games 14-8 than any school system in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, to a football coach. Compliments to him. But it's good to know that these small towns that we are signing up with a large city program. Not just a large city. There are large cities and large cities. But the Brockton is, for a city, is probably the best football program in Massachusetts. To have taken that on and to win the first two, it's really a compliment to the coach and to all of the people all the way down in regard to that program. I know there's many other sports teams, and we do face Brockton and all other soccer and all other efforts, but that one was, it made the turkey taste a little bit better, probably.
Thank you, Mr. McKenna.
And I hope you did enjoy your turkey.
I did, I love turkey.
Good.
I had
I'm
it again
glad.
tonight, and tomorrow night, and the next night.
I'm good.
I asked Randy if he had tofu because he's such a environmental activist, but he informed me that he didn't.
No, he's a different guy when he comes to his mother and father's house. It's called the boarding house reach.
Yeah. The only thing I have, it was a promise that I had made, and I know the board shares the promise with me, that we were not going to lose sight of the issue regarding mosquitoes and mosquito control.
That's true.
And a friend and colleague of ours, Chairman Colleen Corona from the town of Easton, and I have spoke, and her board is willing to do so, if we're willing to do so, sign a joint letter to the governor and to Bristol Mosquito Control and to the commissioner and the delegation, basically reiterating what our previous letter has said, to fully fund up to levels Bristol Mosquito Control deems necessary and appropriate for FY13, because right now they're asking for an increase, and word on the Hill is that there will be a decrease. And so Chairman Corona and I believed that a united effort on this front would be significant and helpful, and again, it keeps to the promises that this board has made to our residents and to the Newfield family that this is an issue we are not going to sit back and let roll past us. And I believe that if they continue to get regular correspondence from us, especially in these winter months, though it doesn't feel like winter outside, that maybe they will begin to take this issue as seriously as we all do. And so I would ask the board's approval of that.
Motion, also move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
very much. Thank the chairman of the Eastern.
I will.
Selectmen.
Appreciate that. The only correspondence we have is from the Mass Municipal Association regarding the ABC series Made in America, and they're just looking for our feedback on any companies that might be appropriate for manufacturing. And Mr. Buckner and I spoke and suggested Johnson & Johnson I think we all agree it's a real gem in the community and in the area. And so I believe Mr. Buckner will relay that on to Mass Municipal Association.
Will do.
And that is all we have for correspondence. Seeing no citizen input, press time, Mark from the Gazette.
Yeah, I have several questions. One, I'm just wondering, I think I left out from last week, I believe there's some police officers appointed?
We had appointed a while ago Jennifer Pohl and Frank Pacheco to vacancies as patrolmen, and what you heard last week was they had successfully completed the police academy, and so we were just reintroducing them to the community. But they, I believe, maybe 6 months ago or so, were appointed unanimously by this board.
Oh, okay. And do you know how to spell Pohl by any chance?
P-O-H-L.
Also, just, I just wanted to understand correctly, what was Chief Janus just speaking of, and what did you guys just approve?
What it is it's emergency responder agreements. We have mutual aid agreements with Bridgewater, Taunton, Easton, the contiguous communities. What he was referring to, if there's a major natural disaster, this allows for us and vice versa to use resources from non-contiguous communities. So, for example, if Tropical Storm Irene was a hurricane and this part of the state got hit significantly, and let's say Hollis didn't get hit significantly, we could call upon them after adopting what we just adopted and use their resources, and then the federal government would reimburse them for their financial commitment made by coming down to us. And so it's a expanded mutual aid agreement.
And does that now include Rhode Island?
It can include Rhode Island and New Hampshire because it's a federal option.
Oh, okay, I got it.
So it really, it holds us to a certain sense of accountability in that we would have to return the response should we be called upon, but we would also be the beneficiary of it should, God forbid, any type of natural disaster occur that we would have to respond to.
There was a motion for an adoption of some kind of permanent easement. Where is that?
On Hill Street. That was through the culvert, right, Mr. Buckner?
The culvert, yes.
We had done work on a culvert. We got a Moore grant back in '07 from the state's Executive Office of Housing and Economic Development, and that was an economic development grant to redo Paramount Park. And part of the problem with Paramount Park was drainage off of Hill Street, and so we had to do a culvert repair and replacement. So Hill Street got a new culvert to alleviate flooding problems and also new roadways, and this is just the final component of that.
When was the culvert constructed?
We got the grant in '07, so probably '08, Randy? Does that sound right?
08, 09, yeah, 08, 09.
08, 09, right around there.
Right.
And do you know how long the easement will take to be constructed?
The easement just gives us access
All right.
to get through.
Oh, so nothing new is being built?
No, it's just the permanent easement taking.
So there's going to be a new polling place for the 2012 elections?
Actually, it would go into effect in April, so for our April, not just federal and state, but our town elections beginning in April, because that's the most immediate one. Because our population increased, we were required to add a fourth precinct, and we've had some discussion. Yeah, so that's what this is, and it's getting crunch time, and so we're going to form a small committee and discuss the options. But I think Mr. McKinnon made some very valuable points as to where it's probably going to end up going. But we obviously want to and need to incorporate some people's feedbacks, the schools, as Mr. McKinnon mentioned, the clerk's office, and so forth.
But you'd still be using the Raynham Senior Center as a polling place?
I don't see that changing. I mean, anything could be open for discussion.
As of now, yes. No reason to change it.
Yeah.
And you said you'd be signing a joint letter with
Easton.
With Easton?
Yeah,
for
so
the mosquitoes?
Yeah, Chairman Coroner and I will sign a letter on behalf of the two boards. They had done a similar letter to us independently,
Right.
and
You said that's for mosquito control funding for FY14?
no, 13.
Oh. So you guys are trying to ask for that, you know, in advance, just to make sure concerns are known?
Well, I think two things. The first is we've always supported Bristol Mosquito Control and the efforts that they're able to do. We recognize, though, that those efforts are limited based on state law. And in addition to that, we were notified that there could be a reduction in Bristol Mosquito Control's budget, which would further reduce the abilities they have to do what we deem to be highly appropriate and necessary prevention activities. And so,
Is that comma or?
I think so. I think maybe a semicolon. Yeah. So it would just be, again, reiterating the board's past support for adequately funding Bristol Mosquito Control to levels that they deem appropriate, because we ask them to do a job, and I think I can speak for the board when I say we believe they best know what they need in terms of resources to do that job at a level we expect.
All right, that's all my questions.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Any emergency business tonight?
Nothing, Mr. Chairman.
What is the board's pleasure?
Make a motion to adjourn, sign the bills, no business, we have to afterwards.
All in favor?
Explain that, I think Paul Jordan was sitting there, wasn't he?
Yes. We are adjourned. Thank you.